It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call at 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. I said I'm here with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Dr. Calvin Finch, he is on his way. He's just finishing up his last monarch and milkweed class that was over at New Braunfels earlier this morning. So right now it's just me and Mark. We're in the studio, not at Milberger's today.
You want to explain why
yes.
we're here?
Yes, I was heading to Milberger's this morning. There was a big tree. I believe it was a big old oak tree that fell and knocked down a lot of the wires over there. So internet, electricity were down, so we had to audible and come on over to the studio. But still, we'd love to hear from you. 210-308-8867.
Yes.
And the tree fell because, boy, we had a lot of rain yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. I officially had 3 inches at my house, and other places had 6. No,
6?
We're working on the microphone here. I'm getting a little reverb in my ears. That's why I was doing that. So we're here at the studio, the lovely studio, here above the top floor of the, what's this building called? I call it the Ramsey Building.
McAllister Plaza.
McAllister Plaza.
All right. Anyway, that's why we're here. So I'd love to hear stories, or we would love to hear stories about how much rainfall you had. I think the airport had 4.5. We had 3. So love to hear folks out there call in and tell us all about your rainfall. Absolutely. I know I had some trees all across town fall over, and Alex was asking me why do they fall over. Well, if they have any kind of root disturbance, maybe they're in a bed with some flowers by it, or they had some concrete within 6 feet. Usually our rule is 6 feet. 6 to 10 feet around a tree is what we call the support system. So if you intruded into that root area, you may have damaged some of the roots, and the tree will still be upright, and the tree will still be green. All it takes is a day or 2 of constant rainfall, and all of a sudden the soil is sodden, and it doesn't have any more oxygen in it, and the tree falls over. It's a lovely business for those of us in the tree business.
Is there anything you can do to kind of prepare for that? Can you water through it constantly? Well,
that's what I kind of implied, that if you intrude into that circle. So I see a lot of people have trees right next to their house in a very small area, or they've gone ahead and planted flowers by it. It's not something you see in nature. Any kind of flowers next to the tree. And of course, they have those flowers, and they got to water those flowers, and that eliminates the oxygen in the soil. And if there's no oxygen in the soil, there's no root growth. So the way you can plant it is try to keep it as natural and as wide as you can around the base of the tree.
I know just from my experience at my house, yesterday morning we had a bunch of puddles in our backyard. I don't know if that's just from soil not either being good or just being compact, or
what it is we have a lot of clay in our soils, even sandy or loose loam. There we go. They have clay in their soil, and clay doesn't allow the water to infiltrate. So I've used these words before. Infiltration is water going into the soil. Percolation is the water going through the soil. And when you have clay soils, you tend to have high or a low infiltration and low percolation. There we go. Just like Christmas, Father Christmas, here comes bringing presents. Hi, Father Christmas.
Yeah.
Welcome on in.
Calvin was battling traffic on I-35,
Wow.
and so for all those who have battled that on a regular basis, I have, the anguish.
I was just going to barely. I had that class in New Braunfels,
Yeah.
and I was just going to barely make it because of the traffic on 35. And then, of course, I got Alex call and said,
Oh.
the tree fell.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
By the way, we have no power or internet at
So I not only
Milberger's.
got to go in the traffic on I-35, I got to go in the traffic in 281. That was horrendous.
It was a fun time. Yes. Yes, Dr. Calvin
One of
Finch
those
just
days,
joined us.
yeah. Let's see, someplace I've got.
So I asked everybody to tell us about your rain report. I got 3 inches. I think
Huh?
I had 3 inches at home.
Oh, 2
And
inches I had.
you only had 2 inches.
I think
So I think actually it was the southeast part of town that got most of the rain.
But it was pretty substantial. 2 inches is wonderful.
Oh, we're adjusting the microphones here.
Oh, I'm going through all the, between 17 pairs of hearing aids. And, let's see, what else do I need here?
We have the staff helping us here. It's great radio.
Thank you. Talk into that? That
Yes.
microphone?
Yeah, that's called a
Have
microphone.
I always done that?
Yeah, Marconi helped
29 years
come
ago.
up with that a little while ago.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are professionals here. Why don't you give that number again?
Yes, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. We have both Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson now in studio, live.
Yeah, I was feeling so good about it because we had a wonderful attendance and class at in New Braunfels, Master Gardeners and the Master Naturalists Extension Service. But then sobered me up getting in the traffic. I'd forgotten how, 35 can be horrendous. Oh, gracious.
Yes.
Slow. But, it was great. It's wonderful to get involved with a class where everybody's enthusiastic and has information to offer in addition to interest in the information we have available.
Oh, really? They say had some stories and what have you?
Yeah, everybody, they've got some milkweeds that are growing in their area, and they're trying to identify them. And, is there anything we can do to make them more desirable to the monarchs? And then they also exploring the other plants. And then, of course, the tropical milkweed is always a big issue. It's such an attractive plant. The monarchs love it, and it also the gardeners love it because it's easy to grow and attractive. But it is controversial, so that's always a good topic. And then, of course, as we've talked about on the radio show, this year we're collecting our data on the computer and by mail rather than trying to get it by phone. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out this year. I think it'll be much easier to get data. Because telephone is very. I guess everybody must be getting about 40 scam calls a day, and so it's
at least
it's difficult to get people excited about providing information on the phone or scheduling a visit on the phone. So what have you all been doing up here?
Oh, we've been having lots of fun.
Have you?
Playing with the microphones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just started. I was just talking about that. I've had the office, tree office, has had a lot of fallen trees, and show me pictures of them, and invariably they were in a tight little bed, or right next to the house, or the driveway. Not much damage. They've all seemed to have fallen away from the houses or away from vehicles. So that's been good. But
Now, where is that? All over?
This all over. But what I could see from the photos were that a lot of them were in well-tended beds, which means which leads me to think that they were overwatered over periods of time, and so that eliminated a lot of roots. So a lot of our native trees, they don't need watering every other day or even once a week.
You know, and that's not unusual characteristic. When we go for have a 7-year drought, and then suddenly we get 10 inches of rain, and when you only have 6 inches of soil, there is a lot of times not much root there. But yeah, it can be a problem in terms of the horticulture, but it also can be a problem in terms of safety too. So yeah, well, hopefully we'll continue to get the rain we need.
Yes,
but
the rain is more important. Do I dare say it? More important than the trees.
Well, we got 10 feet of water more in the aquifer, and then if we get 2 to 3 inches, did we get the 2 to 3 inches over the recharge zone?
No, I got a funny feeling that it was south and east of the recharge zone. The majority of it. Now, you got 2 inches.
Yeah.
So that's still 2 inches that's going to go in the recharge zone. But I think most of it was in town, south of town, and east of town.
We'll take it wherever we can get it, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
But it kind of amazed me that that 7 inches of rain that we got raised the aquifer by 10 feet. It kind of makes you hope that all we'd need is another 28 or 35 inches of rain, and our aquifer will be full, if it's in the right place.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Yeah,
22 inches. Yeah.
Gracious. But what a difference to the landscapes.
Big difference. 210-308-8867. We have Barbara on the line. Barbara, it's good to hear from you. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing well, and yes, I got quite a lot of rain. I didn't measure it, but it was a lot.
So what difference has it made to your landscape? Are you getting weed growth and grass now?
My grass is loving it. Yes, my grass is absolutely loving it. I've got mostly St. Augustine. Parts of it is St. Bermudastine, but most of it is St. Augustine.
Yes.
And it's doing really, really well.
Isn't that amazing how suddenly it goes from, bare ground there in a lot of places to covered by real lawn grass, or at very least by some of our
I still have
bluegrass or rescue grass.
Yeah, we still have some where I live, and it was bare soil, and so all of a sudden it's green, and I look at it and I'm going, well, yeah, it's still cool enough to have some of this bluegrass, wild bluegrass, and rescue grass.
Well, how about what I like is the rain lilies.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
No, we don't have very many. I'm sorry?
Do you have those,
No,
Barbara?
yes. Oh, yes. I have fields of them. I'm not mowing for a while until after they go to seed.
Oh, good. Well, we get, without fail, we get a couple calls that said, "Oh, these darn weeds are in my lawn," and I say, "What darn weeds? You mean those that have that beautiful white flower?" And and they don't stay long. The rain lilies don't stay long, so they don't really disrupt the lawn very long. But, gosh, I think I would pick the rain lilies over the St. Augustine grass or the Bermuda grass, even if it's out there growing. But, Mark,
definitely.
Did your grass, Barbara, repair? I mean, did you go from really sad-looking situation to a situation that is pretty full and worthy of being fertilized?
I actually don't fertilize my St. Augustine. When I water, I just use the soaker hose and move it about and let it run for a little while, and so it waters deeply. And I also don't bag the grass clippings. I mow with a mulching lawnmower. And in the fall, I'm happy to receive all the people that bag up that golden bags of leaves and dump them in my yard, and I will gladly run the lawnmower over it. So my Augustine is not a water hog at all.
That's good.
Yeah, you're doing everything right. Everything we strongly suggest.
Now, how is the situation with the shade? Do you have? I take it you have enough sun for the St. Augustine grass to look good, huh?
Oh, yes. The front yard doesn't have any trees, and then the side yard is shaded by the house. This house blocks most of the west sun, and I just have a little bit of area where it's so sunny that the Augustine doesn't thrive, and the native Bermuda has just come in, that wild common Bermuda, and I'm trying to replace it with horse herb because I'm just not a fan of Bermuda.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that, I was going to say that when I was talking, is I got a lot of horse herb all over the garden now.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy about that.
Well, it's amazing that 6 days ago there wasn't much horse herb, and now I had somebody, one of the neighbors that stopped by, and what is this weed? And I looked, and I said, first thing I said is, what weed? And I looked, and there horse herb everywhere. So it snuck in the situation. It does respond pretty quickly when we get some water.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't mind having a whole lawn of horse herb. I don't mind those tiny little pinhead-sized yellow flowers. Because, again, like the rain lilies, the flowers don't last all that long, and while they're there, they're really quite pretty.
Mm-hmm. Well, the butterflies like them too.
Year-round.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the black swallowtails especially. And then the deer, it's a favorite deer browsing food too. And so a lot of times we see the deer eating the horse herb, and we give the grass credit. The deer are eating grass. Well, not usually. They're not much of grass eaters.
No, Barbara, I think you called in. You were going to ask about Japanese persimmon.
Yes, I have a camapan that by now I believe it's about 50 years old.
Oh, my.
And I haven't been able to get fruit for over a decade because my ladder climbing days are over, and it's way too tall. And I was thinking if I could cut it down, if it would branch out closer to the bottom and be more shrub-like, that I could actually reach the fruit.
Well, our typical management style with those persimmon are to every other year to take out, 5 or 6 of those old stems.
No, you're talking about pomegranate.
Oh, we're talking...
No, she was talking about Japanese persimmon.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, that's right. That's what we do for the pomegranate. we do that. But
why wouldn't it work with the other?
it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Calvin's a longtime peach farmer, retired peach farmer.
That's right. I finally was able to. Took me 10 years to get all those debts, and took me another 10 years to pay them off. So, very successful.
So, but they prune out a lot. So they're trying to get the trees down to about 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good strategy.
Yeah. So when to do it? I probably would do it during the wintertime.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And how much could I take?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What I would probably do is think about it in a couple of steps.
What about, Mark, with the, I'm so leery of this drought period we've been through. What if she did it now? Would there be a problem because we have moisture and we still have, we're pretty early into the spring. Would you be sacrificing anything to take a chance?
I wouldn't do it right now. Maybe later during the summer would be a good time because I want that all those food that the leaves are producing to enter the tree again, and have a little bit of storage, and then maybe do it later this summer or this fall. But think about 2 steps. Now you're going to cut it a little bit, maybe by a third or a quarter, and then further on down, and then further down till you get about 12 feet. I think that's about the size you want to get it at.
Okay. Because it's almost as tall as a 2-story house now.
Right. That's another reason why to do it in a series of steps.
Okay.
And I take it it's not an attractive ornamental at this point, huh?
Oh no, not at all, not at all. It's extremely tall. It's not real branchy.
Mm-hmm.
The birds and the squirrels absolutely adore it. It's at the back of the property and really has just been ignored for the last 10 to 12 years because it's just gotten so tall you can't reach any of the fruit. Mm-hmm. And it just keeps on trucking along, doing its thing.
Well, you're making me hungry for the fruit.
Yeah, that is. Now, some of them are astringent, bitter.
Yes.
But some of them
and
are.
And this one is
really,
very astringent.
It is. Okay.
Yes, it's a tamapan. It's the variety. And the sad thing is the squirrels take a bite and go, ooh, spit it out. But once they broke the skin, that's it. It's never going to do anything but rot on the tree. So we just kind of have ignored it for the last 10, 12 years. And it's apparently very hardy because it has survived everything nature can throw at it with no supplemental watering, just total complete. It might as well be planted out in the wild.
Well, I think a little bit of trimming would go a long way, and I think doing it in 2 steps is your way to go.
Okay, wonderful. I will plan that. And you said winter or late fall or actual winter?
I would do it. I would do it late fall, and then, but planning on doing it anytime but the springtime.
Okay.
So but I would do it in late fall.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barbara. All right, we're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Now, Calvin just finished up with his last one of the season, the Monarch and Milkweed classes. And we have a lot of plants on sale that are good attractors to the butterflies, including the pentas and the Greg's mistflowers. Pentas in a 4-inch pot, regularly $1.99, on sale $5 for $9.50. And the Greg's Mist Flower, a number 1, regularly $9.99, on sale $6.88.
Wow. If you've never seen butterflies and Greg's blue mist flower, you'd be very surprised. I mean, they will come from all over just to get to that plant. So if you want a butterfly garden, start with your Greg's mist flower.
You know, the topic I wrote about, I think next Saturday, was the subtropical. Today I did the Mexican and desert plants, but for the subtropical blooming plants, and the mist flower has that ability. It's an all-star attractor of the butterflies and the bees and the hummingbirds. Another one that came to mind was the Duranta. Now, it doesn't do a lot of blooming until the fall, but it always amazes me that during the fall migration period and in the late summer, they're always covered by queen butterflies. Queen butterflies in the summer, and then when the monarchs show up. But that's another interesting plant in that category. Almost in the same league as zinnias and mistflower.
Does it go by another name?
Duranta?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that.
I don't know if it does go by another name. I'm just amazed that I can remember Duranta. Because I remember that it's got blue or white flowers and yellow berries. Kind of reminds me of the Naqua berries.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just trying to dewdrops or sunshine or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe one of the gardeners out there will.
Yes, please.
Know that. But it's a nice landscape plant too. I think it's a little more cold tolerant than our other, our firebush and our thryallis. And thryallis isn't too bad, but poinciana and the others. But they're all wonderful additions, especially for the summer bloom period. And all of our pollinators love them all. And that we haven't talked much about the. It amazes me too. One of the things, Mark, is that there's a lot of different selections of firebush. And our yellow blooming, which is
I was pointing to the Texas sage, but yellow blooming.
The one that is the classic, the one that starts blooming when it's about 24 inches tall, and then if the older version of it. Waited to bloom until it got 12 feet tall.
The Esperanza.
The Esperanza, yeah. But it's there's a lot of smaller bloomed versions. It's a little bit different color, and also the firebush is showing this. A lot of the same. I was wondering how we tell people what they should. I think of those, the old firebush and the Esperanza, the classic versions of them, and I think in terms of their superior blooms and bloom period and everything. So make sure when you're picking those plants that you select talk with your nursery person and select the ones that have the characteristics that you want. What is the one that blooms so quickly? And do you remember the selection name?
No.
Do you have the? Oh.
No. I have. What I was going to say was when Alex was mentioning the flowers, Hey, Texas sage is on sale.
Texas sage sure is on sale.
Cenizo, yeah.
Cenizo, and you mentioned that in your column. And that's one of my 4 must-haves. Every San Antonian must have a Cenizo, an Esperanza firebush, and a Pride of Barbados.
Is that, Alex, is that on sale still?
What's that?
Cenizo?
The Cenizo?
Texas sage?
Yes, Texas sage, number 3, regularly $24.99, on sale $18.88. And then we also have a caller, 210-308-8867. We have James on the line. James, it's good to hear from you.
Likewise. Hey, it's really nice outside. I hear y'all are inside.
Why don't I hear James?
Yeah. Calvin can't hear James. So,
you hear James?
Yes,
Yes,
I do.
we could hear James.
Yes. Yes.
Should I turn my hearing aids on?
Yeah, maybe. James, speak so Calvin can hear you.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, Calvin has an issue. My wife, well, kind of. She doesn't forget to turn hers on. She forgets to put them in. Mm-hmm. It's a bigger problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not far behind, I'm afraid. Anyhow, rain report 2.56, so I'll call it 2.5, which is good. Mm-hmm. Well, good on one front. Everything needs water except for my Johnson grass. I think I'm fighting a losing battle, but I'll get to that at the end. My tomato report on the pole big, Calvin asked how they taste, and I hadn't tasted them last week. Well, we've consumed 3 so far. I'm really disappointed. Mine are kind of mealy, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know if it's fluctuation of moisture, temperature, nutrients, or
how large is the fruit?
Oh, the first one was huge, but that one, when I turned over, was pecked by a bird, so it got discarded. The other 3 were, oh my God, baseball size or larger. Baseball size. And I have one more that's smaller. I haven't sliced yet, but I'm presuming it's going to be similar to the other 3.
Yeah, I have. Mine are generally smaller, like tennis ball size at the largest, but I thought, they tasted pretty good. Well, it'd be interesting, James, if any of the other gardeners out there that planted the pole bigs, what their response is to the taste. But I think you could be any reason, that could be this strange weather we've had that. And what else? And the fact that
no, that's where I'm going. I'm going with inconsistent watering.
But your foliage looks good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the plant looks real good, and I haven't noticed any insects. And I take it back. I have sprayed, not the plant per se, but as a precaution. I have been spraying periodically, just a couple of 3 times, that soap. Mm-hmm. I don't forget what it's called, safer soap or whatever, just to prevent any suckers or anything on there. So I haven't had any bug issues. I was just really disappointed, and I hate mealy tomatoes, like even the ones you'll get them from the grocery store from time to time, and they'll be mealy, and I can't stand that.
What other varieties do you have? Are they showing a better taste?
That's the only slicer I have. This year I only did one. My Sweet 100 is just putting on fruit now, and on that note, there's at the bottom they're starting to turn orange. But the fruit, I've grown Sweet 100 in the past, but these tomatoes seem to be really small. Even the ones that are already starting to ripen, much smaller than I've grown in the past on Sweet 100. So I don't know, maybe I got one that was mislabeled, or I don't know. It's got plenty of fertilization, plenty of water. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it is what it is. Haven't tasted them yet, so I don't know on that point.
I know that's one of Mark's favorites. I find them okay, but a little acidic. I like the other 2 small, the Ruby Crush and the BHN 968. Even though they taste completely different, I I like those the best of the small tomatoes. Well, even when I compare them to the larger tomatoes, I pick them in terms of taste. But
Right.
but yeah, I think it'd be interesting, and I'm kind of thinking the way that you described it, and also Mark, that these weather conditions, it'll be just like the old days. Every time we have a tomato tasting contest, a new variety would win, or it depended on who tasted it, or it depended on how long the plant was in shape and then fruit on it. But not like we got kind of spoiled with the Ruby Crush and the BHN 968. I think pretty consistent tasting and outstanding tasting.
James, I'm gonna go with the 7 days of cloudy weather. How about that?
Cloudy weather.
Yeah,
That works for me.
Okay.
I don't know that they'll change. The rest of the fruit on the pole big are green, so maybe they'll change with the heat. Who knows? We'll see. But where I messed up, well, another time I messed up. Gosh, for 30 years or longer, I've been growing tomatoes every spring, if not every fall as well. But every spring, I always plant at least one celebrity as a fail-safe insurance plan. And I decided not to do it this year, and I wish I had. But
well, the celebrity is getting vengeance on you. It must have a close relationship to the pole big.
So. Okay, that leads me to, I've got two more. If I can pick, my butterfly vine growing on my welded wire trellis, hog panels, times two, one on top of each other, welded together. So I'm about 9 feet top. All of the vines, I'm looking at them out the window, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 7, 8 runners, two for 7 runners, 2 on each vine, one has 3. They're all exceeding 9 feet and want to grow over the top of the patio cover. Would I be right or wrong to kind of top them in effort to not so much to keep them off the patio cover, but to get them to kind of bush out and fill out from, would that be effective or not?
Well, I wouldn't hesitate to do it.
No, I would encourage you in the next 20 minutes to do it.
Yeah, no, that's they're probably responding to the wonderful rain too, and I don't think it phases them to be pruned a bit.
Okay, I'll top them each at the top of the trellis, which is, I believe, at 9 feet, and hopefully I'm trying to get a screen there on the west side, so they are filling out much more than last year. Of course, they're more mature. I figure that's it, but if I could encourage them to fill in more, that'd be great. And
I'm with you. I think they look better when they are kind of looping over or doubling up, so that you may get the effect that you want with that kind of pruning.
Last one real quick, James.
Do it.
Your last question real quick. We're going to go to break soon.
Real quick. I think I know the answer, but real quick, I just need reassurance. Okay, I think I'm fighting a losing battle on this Johnson grass. Thank my neighbor. I'd like to do something else to him, but okay, it's under the canopy of my blackjack oak, little clumps, rhizomes, if you will. I've mowed them down before this rain. Now they're sprouting up. Will I be safe to spray them under the canopy of this oak tree without harming the tree?
What are you going to spray them with?
Glyphosate. 41.
If you're real careful, I like to paint or use a cone.
Yeah, you're not as inclined as I am. I like those Grass Be Gone and products, Fusilade and Post. I think, especially on Johnson grass, and when you're close to oak trees or roses, it always seems to me to be safer and more effective to use one of the grass weed killers.
The one thing in your benefit, it's a blackjack oak, so there are no root sprouts like there would be in a live oak.
Correct. There are no. I know what you're talking about. There are no sprouts. Never have been. The only thing is some of the roots are exposed at the root flare purposely, but I won't spray those, and I don't intend to do it on a calm day. It won't get any on the tree, but it'll be safe. It's what I'm getting at. It's not going to translocate, if that's the right word.
That is the right word. That's the right word.
So it'll be safe, right? To spray.
If you're careful.
Okay, Mr. Parsons, Dr. Parsons, I should say, advised me similarly years ago trying to kill a hackberry at the base of a humongous post oak. I took his advice, and it worked. Tree still standing, so I just wanted reassurance before I killed my tree.
Well, yeah.
Alrighty then. Thank you, James.
Roundup and glyphosate is really not much of a penetration for bark, so...
All right, we're going to be.
That was the old days. The new products, who knows?
All right, we're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. Give us a call 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. We'd love to hear any rain updates, any plant updates, any vegetable updates that you may have.
Well, yeah, we'd especially like to hear if you pull big, if you've started harvesting them, and how did you react to the taste? I thought they were pretty good. James thought they were a little mealy.
Well, the first one that he had, and it could be one of the first ones. It could be a little inconsistent watering. I'm going for the inconsistent sunlight. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Well, in the weather, it's always dangerous to taste the first few tomatoes that you harvest too, and especially with the weather being as unpredictable as it has been, and erratic, and depending on which neighborhood you're in. It's strange. But the real test will be as we proceed with the season and see if the quality, how people rate the quality, and they look pretty nice, but see if the taste turns out to be better than the ones that James has tried.
They look really pretty on the picture.
Nice.
On the photo, they look really nice.
Yeah, they do. The foliage is doing fine. On the in the vegetable garden, the spinach is kind of gone. At most cases, is kind of at the end of its line. But a lot of the other greens, including the kale, are doing pretty well, and there's a lot of produce or green being produced. Go ahead and keep harvesting that and using as long as it tastes good. You know, our lettuce, Crawford reseeding lettuce, is starting to go to seed already.
Already.
That seems a little early to me, but it also there's a little taste change too, a little more bitterness. If you go ahead and if you've got a number of plants, go ahead and identify one or two for your seed source, and then see what. Go ahead and harvest some of the greens off of those, and see if you can kick it into especially now with the rain that we've had. See if you can keep it at a pretty good taste for a while. It should be at least another month and a half of good tasting lettuce.
It hasn't reached the 90s consistently, and usually 85. That's when I usually say, it's not going to do any good. It's going to be bitter.
We were
pretty much everything bitter.
We were hitting close to 49 last night. It seemed like it was pretty cool with it yesterday.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't store the quilt last night. Very much so.
Well, the carrots and the beets have been doing well.
Yeah, they like this weather.
Yeah, and they been tasting well, nice and sweet. And so those vegetables are growing. Now, some of the hot weather vegetables, my okra is putting some height on finally, and the Mexican squash. One of a gardener came up with a few seeds for me, and that came up gangbusters. It's a vigorous plant for sure.
Yeah, we like that because it has some resistance to the stem borer squash.
For sure.
Squash vine.
And if you're a gardener that likes summer squash, and you're having trouble with those vine borers, try that Mexican squash. That the vine borers don't seem to be interested in it, and it fits the whatever recipe you got. It tastes as good as the summer squash, and very productive. And it's an attractive plant. Of course, it'll take off across your landscape and cover a lot of territory.
If given the opportunity, you might. It just might rabbit. Yep.
My cucumbers have finally started to bloom, so that I've been looking forward to that. I think a lot of gardeners have been harvesting cucumbers. If you got didn't you plant some pretty early, Mark? Cucumbers?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been harvesting any yet?
No.
Okay. Are they blooming?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't say that I did it. It was the lovely next door neighbor who happens to be my girlfriend. So she planted those, and they were up.
Yeah. They once they start blooming, you can expect a lot of fruit.
I'm watching them all the time. So.
And you like the cucumbers, huh?
Yeah, I do. Now, see, much like my mother, cucumbers don't like me, or they always remind me throughout the day that I had them.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the cucumber I had.
You know, I wasn't thinking of a gut disruptor from a cucumber, but I was thinking of, in the article today, we talked about the sharp, the horizontal leaves.
Leaves of the various yuccas that we have.
Yeah, what was it? What is that?
The one
very sharp yucca.
Yeah, the Spanish dagger.
Yeah, gosh, that's amazing.
There's several different species of Spanish daggers, but you can't miss them because they're long and they're sharp at the very end. Sometimes called bayonet.
Yeah, they always seem to me to be ready for action out there. You know. Yeah, go ahead. Come a little closer here. We'll show you about what the desert plant looks like, and one of the neat things about it, they are attractive, and those white blooms that they produce for a couple of weeks are pretty spectacular. The other thing I like about them, the mockingbirds and the cardinals really like them as a nesting site, and of course the mockingbirds are on guard duty all the time. If you got one in front of your driveway, you can expect the mockingbird to be out there checking whatever comes driving in or walking in. But they're in. Are they available at the at nurseries, Mark? I can't remember seeing them.
Absolutely.
They sure are.
What would you expect?
I guess we'll talk about that once we get back from the top of the break. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll see.
We're back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson in studio today. Milberger's had some trees fall down, knock out some power and internet lines, so we have to do the show from studio today, but we are live, so give us a call. 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867.
We were talking about Spanish dagger. Mark, how do you react to that? The idea of the desert plants and Mexican plant in terms of for landscape features and for just fun horticulture. Is it something that fits into your idea of a interesting landscape?
Yes, but there's always a but, isn't there?
Especially if you get stabbed in the butt by a
Spanish dagger. Yeah. A lot of these plants are very xeric to extremely xeric. How about that? And a lot of people put them in the landscape because they're either pretty or they want to be more conservation oriented. But then they do the same things. They have the irrigation system running once a week, or they're having them with other plants that may need more water. So if you're going to do it, and a lot of these plants are really great and very, very popular with pollinators, or they're very great pollinator plants. How about that? You just have to remember how to maintain them and how to grow them and how to design your landscape to meet their needs, not so much your needs.
Yeah, in the long term, that really is an advantage. You don't spend a lot of time maintaining most of these plants that we talked about in the paper, in the article today. It amazed me too. Another one that we talked about was that 25 feet tall tree that with the yellow flowers.
The Retama?
Yeah, the Retama. Gosh, yes. They look good. They really were attractive. They like the drought.
Yes, or a little bit of rain, and then they go haywire with all their flowers. Now, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, there's actually two different ones. There's the Retama, what we call Retama, or Jerusalem thorn, and they have a really long compound leaf. It's about 8 inches long. And then there's another one commonly called Palo Verde, and that has about a 3-inch long leaf. But they both have these nice yellow flowers. So
the Palo Verde is kind of more shrubby.
More shrubby, yeah, or considered to be more of a shrub. And the shrub can get to be about 6 feet. So, and you can see them in a lot of new places, new restaurants. I found out. I've been looking around, and a lot of the new restaurants, the landscape architects had installed them because there are certain varieties which are thornless. So you get this very xeric plant. You can stick it into a very small area that doesn't need a lot of watering, and it'll do just fine.
Is it a one-time bloomer per season?
No. It should bloom multiple times, but I think much like that cenizo, it will have a long time, a long interveinal period.
So you can't always predict when it's going to bloom.
No, but I think it will bloom just as long right along with cenizo.
It's not anything like the cenizo. It's not anything that the deer will eat. Then, is it?
No. I think they'll eat some of the leaves, but the Retama has larger thorns, and the Palo Verde doesn't have thorns or is thornless. And that variety that's thornless is Desert Museum. if I remember correctly. It's called Desert Museum, and it's.
Are we kind of a lot of? I imagine that we're kind of at the northern end of the range, or is Austin?
Yeah. I would even go New Braunfels. I would even put, say, 46. Just because during some of the freezes that we had in the 80s, a lot of Wasatch died. 1604, 46, Highway 46, in that area. So I would put it in the same class. So if the Wasatch doesn't grow, then the Cenizos or the Mexican olive, that's another one.
Boy, they're looking good now.
They are. So all those I would put that San Antonio is probably the northern extent of it.
But they can make a pretty very attractive low maintenance landscape, and it's not a when we describe a xeriscape, which we generally don't think of those as the characteristics of the xeriscape, but you're right. They're almost every one you mentioned are attractive, and they work so well together too, and interesting, and you get a bloom. A variation on bloom period and fruiting period. An aqua fits in there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So all these South Texas species, and when we say your article title was "Plants Native to Mexico," well, it depends on the ecologist, but they will say. San Antonio, South Texas is actually part of Mexico, and they call that the South Texas biome or the Tamaulipan brush biome. And it's all local to me. It depends on where you are on the term native. Sometimes native is you go, it's native to Texas. Well, no, it's native to East Texas.
Yeah. Well, I like all those plants that I mentioned in the article grow in my yard, in my neighborhood, and one of the real advantages is that they do so well in 2 inches of soil that I have over part of most of the landscape. And so you can make a pretty interesting landscape, very productive for wildlife and attractive with using those plants. And then once they're established, gosh, you never. Well, I was going to say you never have to worry about them except if you get stabbed by the thorns.
So I was just about to say it was just on my lips. A lot of people think these xeric plants. Are not, there's no maintenance. And I'm going, no maintenance doesn't mean no maintenance. It means there's going to be some maintenance all the time on these plants, whether it's maybe watering 3 times a year, maybe, cleaning out some of the more aggressive weeds that don't necessarily need to be in this landscape, a little bit of mulch here and there. But it does not mean no maintenance, so you just can't let the yard go wild. And I'm thinking mostly for those yuccas, if you have those yuccas. If they're near a pathway or a driveway or a sidewalk, you shouldn't have put them there in the first place, but if they're there, then you need to take those needles off.
I'm not sure when whoever planted the ones in my yard planted them, but it was 35, 40 years ago. So, but some of them got pretty good, large size, and they have nice shapes. And then it always amazes me when those blooms appear. And this year it's been especially with the yellow blooms, and of course some of them are pretty consistent. But a lot of the others have kind of an unexpected pattern or schedule. But if you're looking for something like to make a sunny corner of your landscape a little more interesting, or reduce the amount of care on it. That there's some really good choices there. And then Alex, Milberger's. Do we have a lot of the yuccas and so those plants that we mentioned available?
Yeah, right at the break we're discussing that, and yes, they do have some of the more popular ones. So they'll have a Spanish tiger. They also have the Rosada yucca, and you can see this around town. They have a very tight crown, and it's usually blue or blue-green. So they have that one, and then they have some of the other yuccas, the lower ones, closer to the ground. I think, and they'll correct me tomorrow when I go by or right before the program, but I think they have some soft leaf yucca and some twisted leaf yucca, and of course they have the red yuccas, which are not yuccas; they're actually aloes. But
and they're blooming in a lot of places too.
And I suspect they'll be blooming a lot more, because this is the time for them to bloom, and now they've had some water.
Rain, yeah. It is amazing. Now, tell us a little bit more of the Anaqua, too. I mean, we talk about it being a slow grower. How does that compare? Is it much slower than live oak, or?
Well, I always thought it was a slow grower, and I thought it was kind of restricted in South Texas to creeks and rivers. I think that I've been pleasantly surprised with those. It grows in a wide variety of locations, and it has
downtown San Antonio.
Yeah, well, downtown, but I'm also thinking of Stone Oak. I never would have guessed there, and I see it in lots of different places. I don't know if I'd call it a fast grower, but it's unique that it grows, and then it spends a lot of time putting out branches in weird locations. It doesn't grow up and out. It
gets
grows
to be
up
so
and
dense,
crosses.
too, yeah.
It crosses over each other. They rub each other. They go in all different kinds of directions. It's hard to prune. You could spend a whole day on one tree to do it right. But
I always think of mine as not necessary to prune because they are so tight, compact looking. It's almost like, that's exactly the way I wanted them to grow.
So if you do it according to, quote, the book, and then it'll take you all day, but you don't have to. That's kind of the neat thing. Now, you'll get broken branches or branches in there, but even the branches sometimes, you go, well, that's been dead for a long time, and the tree doesn't care. It's growing all the way around it on that. But that is a tree that I think should be planted more often, and I'm glad it was on the list, which is now closed. I'm sorry, people. The CPS Energy Green Shade Tree Rebate is now closed again for another year, and it will be opened up again in October sometime. So that does not mean you have to stop pruning or planting, rather, trees. We learned that a few years ago. So traditional time for planting is November 1st to May 1st. But with container-grown plants
and rain,
you don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, you can grow. In other words,
we've
you
had
can grow
2 days of cool weather too.
The only time of the year I probably wouldn't plant trees is August, maybe early September. But other than that, go ahead and plant.
Yeah, I always think of September as a good planting time. But.
Yeah, early September. I prefaced it by that. Alex, I have a question to ask you.
Yes.
When's the best time of the year to plant a tree?
25 years ago.
Oh, man, I've already taught you this one. Yes. So the best time is 20 to 25 years ago. The next best time is
Right
now.
Well, that,
So he does listen.
oh gosh, yes, he does. Yeah. The now the I was trying to think of the I know the topic that the lawns are recovering now with some rain and all, and just the other thing that is consistent with questioning or trying to figure out why the lawn is changing is a lot of our landscapes, the shade trees have kind of matured, and they've gone from just shading the edges to actually putting a lot of shade out there, and I always want to alert folks or warn people, don't, the best action, the best advice is not always to just put new grass down. Make sure you assess that situation and make sure that you're, just like our anaquas, suddenly they're full-size shade trees, 25 feet tall and dense shade, and then a lot of the others that are faster growing even, they've put on a lot of growth too, and so consider that. Even when we talk to some gardeners, I always get a little kick out of it because we'll bring that up. Are you sure you didn't have too much shade? And they'll put up with that for about 15 seconds, and then they're back to thinking about, we need some more. I haven't watered it enough, or we need some more San Augustine grass on it.
Or fertilizer, that's always...
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too. Fertilizer.
Oh, we don't have the fertilizer for sale anymore.
We do
this
not.
Week.
No. We have some other stuff for sale, but we'll talk about that the other side of this break. Give us a call at 210-308-8867. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Hey, I'm here at Milberger's Nursery, and if you love gardening, you're going to want to hear this. The 26th Annual Festival of Flowers, co-hosted by San Antonio Water System, is coming up Saturday, May 30th at the San Antonio Shrine Auditorium on North Loop 1604 West between Stone Oak and Blanco Road, and it is one day only, 9 to 5. We're talking the finest nurseries with water-saving plants, fruit trees, and fertilizers perfect for the South Texas heat. Shop garden furniture, birdhouses, wind chimes, and decor. Bring your little red wagon for the plant exchange. Swap plants, bulbs, seeds, and trees with fellow gardeners. There are herb cooking demos, a floral design challenge, a kids zone, the organic roundtable, educational seminars all day, and an outdoor farmers market with fresh food and treats. Tickets are just $10 at the door. Kids 10 and under get in free. And parking is free too. That's Festival of Flowers, co-hosted by San Antonio Water System. Saturday, May 30th, 9 to 5 at the San Antonio Shrine Auditorium. Details at festivalflowerssanantonio.com.
The food is always good at the Festival of Flowers. I look forward always to get some of their tacos. They're wonderful.
They used to have wonderful hamburgers.
Oh.
I don't know if they still do.
I don't remember them, yeah.
Oh, I think that they're doing barbecue nowadays. The last couple of years have been barbecue.
Make us hungry.
I know, I am hungry right now.
Yes, but yeah. Suppose we should be talking about gardening rather than food.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the sales we are having at Milberger's. We mentioned the...
Is he ignoring us?
Yes,
I am not ignoring you.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to...
my advice is to ignore us all the time. But
of course, that's what happens when you let him come to his home studio,
I get a little bit of an ego boost, but we've talked about the pentas and the Greg's Mist Flower. We have begonias on sale, a 4-inch pot, regularly $179, on sale 8 for $12.
And now they're not on sale, but they still had some Whoppers.
Yes.
And the Whoppers looking wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. The viburnum, Number 3, regularly $24.99, on sale $16.88. Texas sage we brought up. Number 3, regularly $24.99, on sale $18.88. Boston fern hanging baskets, 10-inch hanging basket, regularly $24.99, on sale $22.22. The tropical hibiscus starting at $29.99. We have stepping stones, which is the 2 by 8 by 16, regularly $2.99, on sale $1.88, or 10 for $15. Osmocote Plus, a 2-pound bag, regularly $21.99, on sale $16.88. Metal art, starting at $24.99, on sale 25% off. Bougainvillea, topiary, and trellis and baskets, on sale 25% off. And the Mexican petunia, a number 1, regularly $9.99, on sale $6.88.
Well, then you make sure you get a machete if you get a Mexican petunia. Although we haven't, I'm a little surprised we haven't heard any reports, Mark, of Mexican petunia taking over like in the old days when we...
Well, last week, I was surprised. Neil Sperry, in his article, a reader had inquired about Mexican petunia, and he goes, well, they're not as invasive as you've heard, but they're pretty invasive. He says, get a big pot. And he said a 20-gallon pot or a half whiskey barrel. And I went, well, yeah, that's good advice. That's the way I would do it in a big pot, a big large pot, because they'll take over that pot.
Oh yeah,
that whole pot. So you might as well just use the whole pot for them.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was trying to remember Debbie Reed and I when we planted that at the over there in the central area.
Yeah, that's when the offices were over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't take long for them to be spreading, and we snuck over there in one evening and removed all of the Mexican petunias that we had planted there. We sobered up, I guess, and knew that it would take over the whole neighborhood.
You were removing the bodies, in other words.
Yeah, that's right. The pots disappeared. I don't know what happened to them.
210-308-8867. We have Bert on the line. Bert, it's good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you all, too. I love listening to the show. And I wanted to just give you a rain report from here, where I live, located next to Comanche Lookout Park. And we got rain for 5 days straight.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. Yeah, it was pouring for 5 days straight. And the grass is up to between my ankles and my calf. The shade trees, they are just beautiful.
And that's where I thought it was. Some other people have asked me, where do you think most of it fell? And in fact, you asked me, do you think it fell over the recharge zone? I said, no, I think it was southeast and northeast. And thank you. You confirmed what I suspected, that it was mostly up in that area.
And I wanted to see the grass is up. The grass is up above over my ankles. I'm only 5'8", and so the grass is between my ankles and my calves.
I thought you were going to say it was over your head.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah. I was thinking, hey, I'm only 5'9". That's not 5'8's not that short. Well, there's a little more soil over in that area, isn't there, Mark?
Well, it's yes, there is, but it's also on the edge where we call the Black Line Prairie. So Nacogdoches is usually what we call the dividing line. So it's east of the Nacogdoches Road / Paramvidal, because where he lives is it's back to Nacogdoches where you live. So east of Nacogdoches, it's heavy clay, and then west it's sort of clayish and rocky, right? Yeah, you got rock.
I call it a caliche. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we also got. I just purchased. I got a little mini mantis. You ever heard of them?
A what?
It's called a mini mantis tiller.
A mantis. Yeah, a mantis. Yeah. Late night, Ronco. That show those. Yeah.
That's the ones you use in the raised beds. I used to. Yeah. Well, I've got a couple in my shed. Yeah.
Well, like I said, also the St. Augustine has blossomed, and so have some of the blue stems that I have in the yard. But some of the yards still, like I said, I know it's caliche because it's still spongy, but nothing's growing in it.
I'll be darned. Mm-hmm. How about rain lilies? No, you're not seeing any rain lilies?
I saw them out in front yard. Them little tiny flower, beautiful little white flowers.
Yeah, not so tiny, but as big as a $50 or even a silver dollar.
Oh, $50, a quarter.
That's Mark. You can tell Mark is from Michigan. They don't have full size coins up there.
Well, I'll just say from March Madness, go blue.
Well, yeah, of course. Now, I graduated from... People from Texas don't understand that. Yes, I graduated from Michigan State at Green and White. But I also support the maize and blue. And they go, you have to pick one. I said, no, I picked Michigan. How about that? I support both.
Well, what am I going to do when now I have to select between the Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the basketball league?
I know you'll make the right choice.
Yeah,
I say flip a coin.
I'll go.
No.
I'll go with the Spurs. I can. But now one of the greatest things though is that the Minnesota Wild beat the Dallas Stars. Now that
yes.
Now my family is not too happy about that. The family in Oklahoma and North Texas.
Yes. I encourage anything to beat the Dallas Stars. Huh. Oh my! Send those comments to Mark Peterson. Yeah.
Well, they used to the Dallas Stars used to be the Minnesota Stars.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's another. Alex is signaling us. Stick to the gardening, guys. Stick to the gardening.
So anyway, yes, let's get back to the gardening. So when I till the soil in with this little mini mantis tiller.
Yeah.
So I got to chop up the straw. I got bales of straw.
Okay.
And I got also garden soil. So I just chop up the straw first, and then I incorporate them both together in that caliche that will not grow anything.
All right. So the straw is high in carbon, low in nitrogen.
It's also hard to till with those small tillers.
Yeah. But what I was getting at is, so you have to add maybe a little bit more nitrogen in some way.
1959.
There you go.
It'll do it.
Got it. Okie-doke.
Just a little.
Just a little. All right, like what? If I get a bag of nitrogen, what you said, I'm not remembering the number right now.
Well, is this in your garden or in the lawn?
It's going to be both. Because the lawn, I'm just going to, it's in the part that doesn't grow anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would use, Mark will have an opinion too, but I would use 10 cups per 100 square feet of bed for the garden and half that for the lawn.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell you about the rain report here. I said it rained for 5 days. It filled up a 3-gallon bucket.
How much? How many inches, you think?
No, I got no clue. I just put the 3-gallon bucket out there. I was like, let's go see what catches in the rain. And
8 or 10 inches, huh?
Well, I was going to say that's how you actually determine the inches. So you got a big bucket. No, it's a standard size. Didn't you tell me? Wasn't you or maybe James told me it's 8-inch square, I think, for the official measurement.
Yeah, I believe that's about correct. 8 inches across. Like I said, it's a 3-gallon bucket that I have that I just use for collecting water when it rains.
Yeah. So you should have got.
I know.
You should have got about 4 inches.
Well, I tell you, I don't know. Like I said, it rained so hard and poured down. I mean, it poured down here for 5 days straight.
Yeah,
so,
I was amazed too at every dog dish and bucket that I had around. Had a lot of rain, had a lot of water in it. Even though I only got about 2 inches, I think but 2 inches of rain is pretty substantial, even.
And and we can use some more because, like you said, it just didn't fall on the aquifer as we need it to. But I heard the aquifer jumped up about 2.5 feet.
Well, I don't think so. I hope so, but 2.5 feet. Oh, okay. For the latest
20.
rain, yeah, yeah, because it went up
20.
10. It went up 10 feet for that 7 inches that we had.
Well, as I said, my arthritis can always tell me when the rain is coming in. And so I'll go put out a bucket of water to catch it so I can water the flowers and plants.
There you go.
All right, y'all. Have a great weekend.
You
Thanks,
too.
Bert.
Thanks for calling,
Thank
Bert.
you.
What would you like to talk
All right. 210-308-8867.
We may have another caller.
We
I
may.
can hear.
Well, we're getting close to break, too.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of stuff on sale. Kind of brushed through them real quick. But I know we were talking about xeriscaping and low maintenance, and I know the viburnum and Texas stage are both.
Oh, we have those questions all the time. Is what can I plant in my hedge? Along my fence as a hedge. And Calvin and I both love viburnums. And
That Sandanqua is hard to beat.
Yeah, and I heard that, or the staff had told me, I asked them, it says they have 3 or 4 different varieties of viburnum, and one of them is Sandanqua, another one is Spring Bouquet. That's the smaller one.
I like that Spring Bouquet, too. I've grown that, too.
I have forgotten about it until they said it, and I went, oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
That is good. Well, that one only gets, 3 feet tall, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But, they are shade tolerant. It always amazes me the deer don't eat them either, because I don't think of them having that characteristic repelling power that Mark talks about, the furry or smelly or leaves. They got nice shiny green leaves, and they prosper in the shade. But I've never had the deer eat them in my neighborhood, so
Right.
They're great. And they're the ones that I was looking at them the other day at Milberger's the last weekend, and they're attractive, and kind of they've got a character, and then they've got each of the selection is quite different from the other selections, but they also are disciplined. There's enough discipline in them, and that they always think of them as looking good if you planted them together. Kind of those would be a worthy plant for your mixed planting, because they can all tolerate a little shade. They're deer-proof, and great plant, very attractive.
Great plant. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Alex Escobar with Dr. Calvin Finch and Mark Peterson. 210-308 8867. We have Carl on the line. Carl, good to hear from you. What's going on?
Yeah, I have 2 apricot trees and a plum tree, and they all went into bloom at a different time. And I'm wondering, am I going to have to buy other fruit trees that bloom at the same time so they can pollinate to get fruit on them?
No. Have you had apricots are always tough to grow here because they bloom so early. Have you had any luck at all with them?
I actually have 6 apricots on one of the trees, and the other one was...
Oh, wow. Well, protect them from the squirrels and everything, because those are treasures.
Yeah.
And what kind of plum do you have? Do you remember?
You know, if I say Motley or something of that nature, it's been a long time, 3 years. Yeah.
Methley.
Methley.
Is
That's
what
the
you
recommended variety.
So I bet you that's the one you had.
You don't need a pollinator for those. Doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt if you have them, but you don't need them. The Methley should do fine. And the apricots, you just whatever you've done, continue doing it, because that's amazing that you've got some good fruit. They're getting close to ripe, shouldn't they? Aren't they?
No, they're about maybe 2 or 3 inches across right now. They're not ripe yet. They're still hard and everything. I wasn't expecting to get much fruit off them because everybody told me they're hard to do that. But the fact that they would grow up to about 12 or 15 feet, I was hoping they'd get that tall. I could use them for some shade in the backyard.
They're pretty. They're an attractive plant too, so they're sometimes worthy of just growing, even if you're not getting a lot of fruit. Do you remember by chance what the apricot is?
So anyway, but I don't need another thing in there to cause them to pollinate. It's just the fact that they bloom so early.
Yeah, you were breaking up. But no, they are members of the rose family, and they have perfect flowers, and they just need a bee or two and good weather.
Yeah, and it sounds, whatever you're doing, it sounds like you're doing it well because they're productive. It's been tough on the fruit trees over this last 7 years. Do you have them on raised beds or?
No, I live on Highway 90 out toward Castroville.
Okay, so
I just put them in the backyard about 4 feet off the fence, trying to get them some room to grow, and it seems to work.
Yeah, you got some good soil out there, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I was kind of concerned that I'd have to buy more and get them all to bloom at the same time, which I know that's going to be difficult for chill hours. But anyway, that's the way it goes.
I was trying to think of my favorite. I had I can't think of the plum species that I had. It was the one that did so well in East Texas at my commercial peach orchard, and I planted one here, and had it for about 10 years. 1 year I got a bunch of fruit, and that was
it was Bruce.
Huh?
Was it Bruce?
No, it wasn't Bruce.
Okay.
But it was pretty well known.
Yeah. Because you and I talked about this before, and that's why I remember that.
Gosh, it was what a tasty thing.
Anyway,
makes you're kind of inspiring me. I might try planting some plums again. That sounds good.
No, and if it happens the way it used to when I was a child, 1 year they put on so much fruit you can't eat it all, and the next year they put on you're fighting over it as kids.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that's the way life goes.
That's a common description. Yeah, fruit, especially in this area. Now, if you go into the hill country a little bit, you got a little more chill hours and some decent soil. And you're in Uvalde, so and we're
Castroville.
Castroville. So you got some pretty decent soil. Sounds good. Keep us informed.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Carl. 210-308-8867. Got about 10 more minutes in our show for today. Maybe time for one more caller. 210-308-8867.
Now I'm trying to think of that.
I know.
Peach fried. I can't believe I forgot it. It was such a favorite selection of mine. I had somebody in one of the gardener had tried for several years to grow apples.
Yeah.
And hadn't had good luck, and so he asked what are easier fruits to grow. And of course, my first thought were the figs and blackberries, and then also some of the pears. Kefir is pretty easy to grow, and
citrus. Those were the four.
Yeah, that's the other one.
That's the four. Yeah.
The bloom. I thought of the bloom sweet, and then our
the Arctic frost and the orange frost.
Yeah, well, they're relatively easy, and I didn't emphasize the cold protection, because if you pick the bloom sweet and those Arctic frost, and then you get pretty good protection, and pretty reasonable in terms of the freezes.
But those are the four that I always remember, that I always promote is citrus, blackberries, figs, and pears is my four. I would say that's my four I would choose.
Yeah. When I was trying to think of, well, you know what? I almost put strawberries in there too. Strawberries are shorter season, a little more intense management, but you can do a pretty fair job of producing. Now, you're not going to make a living from growing them here, but you can. The kids like them, and you can use them for a lot of recipes. Relatively, and they're very attractive, of course. And then Milberger's usually has a pretty good selection of them at the right time, so that's something we can watch for. But blackberries, Mark, what have you? What is your favorite? Is it still? Do you?
Well, Brazos has always been.
Yes, the reliable one.
But there's a couple of new ones now.
Is that the Choctaw or?
It's. I'm trying to think, but Kiowa, and another one, maybe Navajo, maybe. There's Natchez.
Natchez, okay.
But that's supposedly thornless, but I don't think we've ever. Natchez, is that Natchez the thornless one? Yeah.
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 Well, I'm about ready to try some. Thornless ones again. I mean, there's been a lot of development in the thornless, and the ones that I tried 12 or 14 years ago declined. They produce their fruit later in the year every year, and they just declined so that they weren't producing anything. But based on what I've heard about the new varieties, and it sounds like it's worthy of giving them a try and see if they're improved.
I look at the blackberries, what we have at Milberger's every so often, and I think it's the newer one is called Navajo. I'm going to have to look at because it's so similar to Natchez, maybe it is a thornless variety. So I'll have to look at it the next time hopefully tomorrow. The next time I'm in the back.
Hopefully so.
Anyway, did you want to mention anything else?
Did you say that their retail or Milberger's is in business?
Yes. There's customers showing up, and the staff are still there in the front storefront. But the back house where we usually set up, that's where a lot of the wiring got pulled down and taken down.
Okay. crash.
Yeah, when I got there, they were clearing up that tree that fell, and like we talked in the beginning, it was because I guess all that rain made the roots just come up.
I'll be there.
We can talk about a little bit more about it tomorrow when I go over there and look.
Yes.
Anyway,
yeah,
did you want to say anything else?
See if they've got any. I keep expecting us to get some porterweed and some milkweeds. It's some like butterfly weed and some of the other milkweeds. We've had tropical milkweed, but it would be interesting too if they got some like some of the showies and green milkweed, some of the other varieties. So we may have to talk to them about that.
Yes,
because we're trying to grow them by seed and also by germinating them. But
we have a few moments left. But what were some of the comments that you heard today at this the last butterfly program that you did? Something that was truly unusual or unique, or something that just caught your ear.
Well, it's kind of interesting when you go from like Wilson County, or from the class at Milberger's to the one at Wilson County over to New Braunfels, because the native milkweeds, that the clumps of native milkweeds that appear, that's always interesting. Because a lot of the gardeners say, well, we do have a few of the zizzotes growing in our Blacklands Prairie, and or some greens in the sandy soil. So that's part of the interest. And then they're always some that they've since they've taken an interest in the milkweed and the monarchs, they've realized that they do actually have a few of the native milkweeds growing. That they've mowed down and passed, but now they're trying to protect them.
Yeah, most milkweeds look like weeds.
They do. We've got these wonderful. One of the volunteers that used the computer did some wonderful pictures of great blooms. It makes every one of them look like they're in the same league as roses. But I tell everybody now, be sober here, because the milkweeds really are not the most attractive plant in the whole landscape. They've got, when they're in full bloom for a short part of the year, they can be attractive, and some like butterfly weed or tropical, but most of them are easy to lose track of if you're not recognizing the foliage. So that's an interesting, and that's part of the goal of our classes too, is to recognize the milkweeds that are out there and protect those so that the butterflies have access to them. So that's always interesting. The one thing that didn't come up, Mark, that I thought about was people are not seeing a lot of milkweeds this month. In April, I thought they would be migrating. One or two we see at Milberger's, but in the years past we've seen, we always expect 7 or 8 or 10 or 12. Oh, look at the big hawk just flew through.
I was going to say, maybe we'll see some at this height. Maybe that's why we're missing them.
But there's another. There it is. Now, yeah, we'll maybe bring that up tomorrow to see if we can, if anybody has been seeing monarchs.
You and I both read the same reports that population in Mexico was up 60 plus percent.
Yeah.
And we would expect. I was so happy because I said to myself, I probably will be seeing a lot of monarchs this year.
Well, I had to alert everybody, but if you population has already dropped 70%. You go from 100 to 30. A 60% increase is only another 18. So you
we'll take
gotta be
whatever we
careful.
can get. Well, thank you for listening today. Hopefully, we'll be live at Milberger's tomorrow. Alex Escobar, Dr. Calvin Finch, and Mark Peterson. We'll see you tomorrow from Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.